So what's up, everybody? Welcome to part two of the first Let's Play. So we're going to be scheduling flights to Asia in this video. So hopefully you enjoy that. We did finish the Middle East last time. We'll finish the all of the A330s this time. So it should be a relatively quicker video, this part. And I'll see you in the next one. And thanks for watching.
Bangkok, which I can do. I have an alliance member there, and that works. Okay, so yeah, we'll do that. We can fly to the small one. I need to check the demands though, because I believe my competitor probably does fly that flight, and he does. A lot of people are flying it, and none of them fill it, so we probably won't add to that. Okay, so we have Manila, but we're gonna be flying max 8s to these places. So I'm not really thinking about flying a A330 to any of those. Let's see what we have. I need some more data. Alright, so we'll fly an A330 to Tokyo, and we'll fly to Seoul. Fly an A330 to Seoul, and I'll try to fly one to Beijing, but from past research, I'm pretty confident those places are hard to fly into. So hopefully there's a secondary airport there that I can get into that way. We'll be a lot more flexible with this though, since it's not as long. So Beijing is PJ. PK. I really do prefer to fly out early in the morning, so 12 o'clock around that time. That usually works better since you'll arrive early, and that's how the scheme you see here is typically how all airports are: early morning or really late at night, or not very well filled up. But if you try to fly there in the midday, that's where you're gonna have problems. But Beijing is just all around a nightmare. Okay, Beijing has opening at 2200, which probably won't take. 19 looks like a good one. It's all over the place, but it looks fine, so we can work with that. That appears to be what we want anyway. 1930, nah, it's actually not. Okay. Alright, there's another. Here's a smaller version. Let's see if the slots are better here. And they are. So we're probably going to fly this one instead. So we'll cancel this. I'm going to have to open a new station here. Gotta refresh the page. And then we got, and we'll do that. Good, because I almost made a mistake. Okay, so we want this flight to depart 5 o'clock in the morning. $11:20. Ooh, interesting. I have an alliance member here, big time. Only 2 slots per 5 minutes. This is sad. The big Beijing is probably better for this. $11:26. We got 11:55. So we can probably delay about 30 minutes. It's just easier to edit all these flights speeds when it's not. I don't have to wait for it to load the performance data in every time. This plane is not going to get used very well. That works for me. We can leave that space in there, that's fine. For now, we may rework this schedule out. Go back. Got this. Okay, so we got through all the A330-200s that I have. Apparently, that's what it looks like. We shouldn't have. These are the new 900s, and looks like we did. Okay, so we're going to be scheduling these guys. The 900s are going to be coming from domestic destinations first, and then they'll connect in Bali, and they'll continue to Australia. So the actual planes flying to Australia and New Zealand are the A330-900s. They'll be flying to 3 primary destinations. We'll be flying to Brisbane, Melbourne, Sydney, and Auckland. I have 4 A330s here, and that's their destinations. The rest will be covered by the 737s. And I will not activate any of these schedules until all of them are set, until every plane is scheduled. So until then, I will not activate these planes. Because I know I'll fill these flights regardless. I want this plane to depart. Okay, I'm just gonna need a flight number. Valleys are scheduled on. They're on a 4,000 schedule. These are 4,000. So 5 is the 20 block. So it's mainly 20. So we're going to be flying this out at 20, 2010 to be exact. Which actually means 21 if you want it on Jakarta time. And that should be plenty of time for it to arrive in time for the 5 o'clock. Perfect. The one in Singapore shouldn't be this bad. Shouldn't be as bad. Okay. Oh, that won't. That simply won't do. All right. So my blocks in Jakarta are pretty much. You can fly out of here exactly that time and you'll arrive. We need to have a 30-minute separation here. So put this at 21:30. Oh boy. This is a block, isn't it? Yeah. It's weird actually. It's between the arrival and the departure. Let's see. The Valley 21. Okay. Probably should just be satisfied with where we're at there. regardless, I'm going to fill that flight. So it doesn't really matter how fast it goes. Alright, so you want that at 2:30, and that works. So, okay, so that's that. So the first thing we're going to do is now we got to find, we can close these now. So now we're going to be flying from Bali, and these planes, like I said, we fly from Bali down to Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, as well as Auckland. They're not going to be able to complete all those flights, so I believe we're going to need more A330s than just these. Either that, or I can repurpose my A350s, but right now we'll schedule them as is, and we'll work with it. Okay, so in order to keep myself from being confused, we'll use 600s for, I'm going to use 600s for the flights to Australia. That way I know. Okay. That's how things work. Alright, so we got your flight to Melbourne. I just thought about that. That's not actually going to work. That means these guys will not be returning on time. Okay, so it appears my plan is not going to work exactly how I thought. Especially if we want the Australia flights to land and connect to the same flights that are departing. So what I'm going to do is while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to immediately place an order for about, I'm going to order 10 of these bad boys. Because even if I don't use them in Bali, I'll find somewhere else to use them. There's plenty of places. So we can expect those this week, and what we'll do is we'll move these flights around. Until then, I'm gonna schedule these planes to Australia as normal. Okay, 600, 600. There we go. Okay, let's see when his wave is in Melbourne. I have an alliance member in Melbourne as well, in Australia. He pretty much controls Australia, which is why I can do this. Okay, so 1420 is our departure, which is maybe or maybe not a wave for him. Let's see, we'll do 1500. We're actually going to do later than that anyway, so probably about 20. Let's see, about 2005 is how that works. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna do something way later than that. Let's see, probably 2. Let's do 2:05. Let's see what we can do there. Okay, that's too late. Okay, 12 is perfect then. So we'll put in, so 12 o'clock. Let's speed this aircraft up max. Let's do our max speed here so I can mess with it as necessary. Okay, so 12 o'clock is the time we're taking. Is this a departure? Oh, it's a departure, so we're working well. Alright. Okay, so we're gonna need, this flight's gonna need some extra time, so we're gonna move it back 20 minutes. And it still fits, which is perfect. So, alright, so that's gonna be that. Sydney's not gonna be this easy. Alright, same deal here. We're gonna remove this flight because we're gonna have to. Alright, let's see what we have. It looks like we're gonna be arriving at 12. Alright, we're arriving at 12:47. So let's see. Oh, that's great. Thursday, Monday have extra slots. But of course, those aren't where we need it. Actually, Thursday works. If I had 15 minutes, that should be fine. Okay. Let's see if we got anything earlier than that. So I'm willing to push it back if I have to. I don't see anything up right here. 12:47. So we got something at 11 on Tuesdays. We can move it back. That's really late. Let's go back to 12. We got 40. It works. Let's try 10. I like to keep my stuff on the even, so that's why it works. Okay, and then Saturday. Another popular flight day. Okay. 1150 and then 1300. Oh. Alright. So it looks like we might not be able to fly it just one day out of the week. Which is fine. Alright, so Sydney has a curfew. So getting out of there on time is paramount. And I don't think we're going to be able to. Alright, we want to get this thing as close to our wave as possible. And then remove the Saturday flight. You see, I might have an A330 just laying around that we can do this with. No. These are A330s that these are actually a bunch of 7.3s that I've been debating for a while if I'm going to keep or get rid of because of their age. I'm actually think I'm going to get rid of them because you start to lose points, start to lose passenger satisfaction numbers as they get over. You lose one every 2.5 years. So this plane lost 1, and this plane has lost 2 points. So on the satisfaction scale, on the ORS rating, all these planes are really, really bad. So I'm thinking I'm just going to get rid of them at this point. I'm going to order a lot of new Max 9s, and we'll see how that works. But I don't have planes just laying around with the objective. I don't have any planes with any openings on them. Unfortunately. I wonder. No, there's not going to be any space on these. Well, there might be. Let's see. Do these guys have the space? Indeed, they do. So what we'll do is I'll put those extra flights on these planes, on these two A330s that need an opening. So select that, scoot, 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 scoot. Okay. Deselect, deselect. Okay, and that's going to be that. I go back to the other end. Because this is the one that's going to be flying the Auckland flight. So it's going to need some extra spots. Okay, so I move this. Perfect. I made a boo-boo, messed that up. Take it back, and that seems weird. Is that how this other flight is? That doesn't seem right. That's not the arrival time I want. Odd. That's what I got. Yeah, we're good. It's right. Okay, so we're gonna take this one, and we'll move that onto this first A330 over here. Let's put that one there. And this will bring down the maintenance cost, so I'll make a little more money on them, off of them. We'll need to add another flight, of course, but I have a flight in mind for that. Crap. Go back. All right there. All right, those guys are correctly scheduled now. We're gonna need that maintenance time there, so I think I'm just gonna leave them as that. And now this plane can fly to Auckland unhindered, because Auckland's a long flight. Auckland's not gonna have a problem with slots because there isn't a carrier base there. It's just my Airlinesim member who flies flights to and fro, so it's not a big deal. I'll try to get it as close as possible. Even I'll speed it up for a better rating, and then we'll get it closer. That's good. Alright, no need for it. Alright, all my A330s are now scheduled. Just waiting for me to press the button. We're going to call it for this video. That is the scheduling of the A330s. I do have one more to do, but we'll do that in the next one. We'll actually schedule the MAX 8s afterwards. The MAX 8s will be going to some of the smaller Chinese destinations that I have left over, and a few of the and three of the Australian destinations. So we find at the Perth, Darwin. I think Cairns is a good destination. We still have to go to Brisbane. I did get my Auckland flight, but the other A330 is supposed to go to Brisbane, so that's where it'll go. And then we have Adelaide down here. That will be the other MAX route. So stay tuned. Check in for the next part. We'll definitely be doing that next. So if you have any suggestions to help me make it better, or any questions in general, just let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to answer. All right, everyone, have a good day.